Close your eyes. Let your body settle into whatever is holding you right now. The mattress beneath you, the pillow under your head, the weight of the blanket across your chest. Feel the whole section, the length of your body become a little heavier, a little more still. You don't need to do anything tonight. There's nowhere to be, nothing to finish, no one waiting for you. The day is done. Whatever it carried, the noise of it, the busyness, the small frustrations and the lingering thoughts, all of that is far away now, distant, like a sound heard through a closed door. Tonight, you are going somewhere quiet, somewhere small and warm and entirely your own. Imagine a road, or perhaps not even a road, just a narrow track, wide enough for one, the kind of path that winds through trees, slightly overgrown at the edges, with ferns brushing the sides and soft moss growing between the tire tracks. The light is here, low and gray, not threatening, just that particular afternoon gray that comes when a cloud has settled in over the hills and decided to stay a while. You have been driving for some time, long enough that the last town is well behind you, that you haven't passed another car in half an hour, and the radio signal faded out somewhere back in the valley and you turned it off and simply listened to the quiet hum of the engine and the first sounds of rain beginning to tap against the windshield. The rain is light at first, just a scattering of drops, almost polite. The wipers move slowly, barely needed. Through the glass, the forest is all soft greens and dark browns, and the tree trunks dark with moisture, the leaves beginning to gleam. You roll down the window a little, just an inch, and the smell of it comes in, rain of forest earth, that deep, clean, ancient smell that has no word good enough for it, though people have tried. It settles something in you immediately, something in the chest, something behind the eyes. You breathe it in slowly, and the last tension in your shoulders begin to release. The track curves gently upward, the trees thin slightly, and then, through a gap in the firs, you see it, the cabin. It sits in a small clearing, just large enough that the trees don't crowd it, but close enough that they shelter it on three sides. It is a modest building, old timber, silvered with age. The roof a deep charcoal gray with patches of soft moss growing along the northern edge. A stone chimney rises from one end, and from it a thin thread of smoke rises and curls and is swallowed immediately by the low gray sky. Someone has been here before you. Someone has lit the fire. A covered porch wraps around the front, deep enough to stand under and stay dry. Firewood is stacked along one wall in neat rows, the logs pale and split clean, covered with a slanted roof of corrugated iron that is already ticking softly under the rain. You stop the car at the edge of the clearing and simply sit for a moment, watching the rain begin to fall heavier now, across the clearing, across the dark wet grass, across the roof of the cabin. The drops bounce off the bonnet, the windscreen blurs. There is a single lamp glowing in the window, warm amber light, soft as candlelight. casting a small gentle rectangle across the wet boards of the porch. You turn off the engine. The rain immediately becomes louder, no longer filtered through glass, not competing with the mechanical hum of travel, but simply present, a full enveloping sound, the kind of sound you can lean into. You sit for a moment just longer, listening to it. Then you gather yourself and step outside. The rain hits your shoulders lightly as you cross the clearing. Just a few seconds of walking, but enough to feel the cool of it on your face, in your hair. You move quickly without rushing, and then you are under the porch roof and everything is immediately quieter and warmer and sheltered. You stand for a moment, listening to the rain on the iron roof above you. Up close is a different sound entirely, not the soft hiss of rain on grass or leaves, but a fuller, more percussive sound, a kind of drumming that is somehow deeply relaxing, each drop landing clean and sharp and then dissolving into the continuous sound of all the others. The boards of the porch are smooth underfoot, worn smooth by years of this. Whoever built this place, whoever has stayed through all the seasons, they have all stood here in rain like this, looking out at this same clearing, listening to this same sound. You take off your jacket and hang it on the hook by the door. The door is unlocked. The handle is cool iron, slightly rough. You open it and step inside. The warmth hits you first, not an aggressive heat, not the dry blast of central heating, but a real warmth, the kind of that comes from wood and fire, that is slightly uneven and slightly humid and entirely alive. It wraps around you the moment you cross the threshold. You close the door behind you. The cabin is one main room, simply arranged. To your left, the fireplace, stone hearth, heavy iron grate. The fire already burning low and steady, a deep bed of orange coals with flames still dancing above them, small and unhurried. A wooden mantelpiece above it, plain and dark with age. A single candle stub melted onto a saucer on one end of it. A warm armchair sits angled toward the fire, deep cushioned, covered in a faded fabric that might once have been forest green and is now something softer and more indefinite. A small wooden side table beside it. On the table, a heavy ceramic mug with a small chip in the rim already waiting. Steam rises from it. Along the back wall, a narrow kitchen, a deep stone sink, a small stove, shelves of provisions, jars of dried things, tins, a loaf of bread in a cloth, simple, sufficient. In the far corner, the sleeping alcove, tucked under a low ceiling, like a berth in an old ship, thick curtains half drawn, heavy wool blankets folded back. The pillows are large and soft. You cross the room slowly, taking each detail. The rain on the roof above you is a constant sound now, settling into rhythm. The fire makes small sounds of its own. The occasional soft collapse of a piece of wood, the quiet hiss of sap, the low murmur of combustion. You sink into the armchair. For a moment, you simply sit, your hands loose in your lap, your back against the deep cushion, the fire warm on your face and hands and feet, the rain continuing overhead, steady and full and endlessly patient. You pick up the mug from the side table and hold it in both hands. It is hot. the good held heat of ceramic that has been sitting near a fire. You wrap your fingers around it and feel the warmth travel through your palms, through your hands, slowly up your wrists. You bring it to your face and breathe the steam, something herbal, something with honey, something that smells like sleep. You take one slow sip, then you set it down and close your eyes. Outside, the rain intensifies slightly. You hear it in layers now. The close drumming on the roof directly above, the softer sound of it falling on the grass and the earth of the tearing, the deeper rushing sound of it in the tree canopy at the edge of the forest, the distant murmur of a small stream somewhere that has already begun to respond to all this water. The fire set shifts, settles, burns on. You breathe in slowly through your nose. Wood smoke and rain and warm stone and the particular deep smell of an old cabin in autumn, of timber that has absorbed years of fires and meals and sleeping, and you breathe out slowly, and something in your body that has been held all day, something you perhaps did not even know was tense, begins to let go. Let your body sink a little deeper into the chair. Your legs are heavy now. Your feet, resting on the floor, feel as though they belong to the floor. Your back and shoulders are fully supported, fully at rest. Your hands are loose and soft in your lap. There's nothing they need to hold tonight. The only thing required of you right now is to breathe in slowly, feeling the breath expand your chest, fill your lungs, lift your ribs gently outward and out slowly, letting it all go. Every thought, every remnant of the day, every small worry that might try to find you here, breathe it out. Let it dissolve into the warm air of this room. The rain does not rush, it simply falls. It has been falling for hours and will fall for hours more. And it has no interest in urgency, no awareness of time. It simply is, continuous, patient, complete. Let your mind follow the rain. After a while, you don't know how long, you become aware of the small sounds within the sound. The rain on the roof is the loudest and the closest. It is not uniform. There are slight variations in rhythm as gusts of wind move through the clearing, as heavier pulses of rain cycle through. Sometimes it is almost musical, almost like fingers drumming slowly on a tabletop. Sometimes it settles into something more like white noise, a full, even surrounding sound without particular rhythm, just presence. Beneath it, the rain on the window to your right, you can hear the drops hitting the glass, a softer sound than the roof, more dispersed, and the small rivulets they form as they run down, a barely audible trickle. Beneath that, the rain on the porch boards, a different texture again, wooden, warmer in tone than the iron roof, more resonant. And beneath all of it, under everything, the sound of the rain on the earth itself, on the grass, on the ferns, on the soft ground of the forest floor, a whisper almost, a low continuous murmur that seems to rise up through the floor of the cabin, through the boards, into the soles of your feet. The fire shifts again, a soft creak from the timber of the cabin as it settles against the wind. Everything is exactly as it should be. You look at the fire. The coals are deep orange now, almost red in the center, with a gray outer rim of ash that crumbles and glows. The flames are above them, are small, not the dramatic flames of a fire just lit, but the quiet, steady, reliable flames of a fire well established, a fire that has found its pace and is content to burn on through the night. You watch one flame in particular. It moves with a rhythm that is entirely its own, shifting slightly, leaning, curling, dropping, rising again. No two moments quite the same, alive in a way that nothing mechanical can replicate. Fire is alive in a very old sense. It is a process, a conversation between heat and fuel and air, continuous and self-sustaining for as long as the conditions allow. You watch it for a long time. Your eyelids are heavy, not uncomfortably so, pleasantly so. The weight of them is a relief, like settling down something you have been carrying. You let them grow heavier, let your gaze soften, the fire blurring slightly into a warmer amber glow. The rain continues, the fire continues. You breathe slowly, and you let everything else fall away. At some point, gently, without urgency, you become aware that the light outside the window has shifted. The gray of afternoon has deepened into the gray of evening. The clearing beyond the glass is still visible, but only just. The pale shapes of grass, the dark outlines of the firs, the edge of the woodpile on the porch. Everything is softer now, the details lost, just forms and tones. The rain is heavier than before. You watch it through the window. The drops catch what little light there is from inside the room, each one a brief streak, a line of glass light, gone before you have finished seeing it. Thousands of them, constant, each one identical and each one entirely singular. On the window glass itself, the drop lands and runs. Some run straight down, quickly, in neat vertical lines. Others meander, catching on something invisible in the surface, curving unexpectedly to the right or left before rejoining the general drift downward. Some drops stop entirely for a moment before a heavier drop hits nearby, and a small vibration releases them and continue on their journey. You watch without thinking, just watching. The mind, given something gentle and endlessly variable to follow, quiets naturally. There's no need to analyze the rain, no need to form an opinion about it, no need to respond. It simply falls, and you simply watch, and the space between your thoughts grow longer and softer. Outside, the trees at the edge of the clearing are dark shapes. The firs are still, barely moving even in the wind. They are old trees, deeply rooted, and the wind that moves their upper branches barely reaches their trunks. They simply stand there as they had stood for decades, absorbing the rain, letting it run down their bark, letting it pull at their roots. Somewhere out in that forest, unseen, the small animals of this place are settled in their dens and nests and burrows. A red squirrel in a hollow pine, curled tight, tail over nose. A family of field mice deep in the tangled roots, breathing slow and warm. A deer standing perfectly still under the dense canopy of a large fir where the rain barely reaches, head low, eyes half closed. Everything that lives out there has made its peace with the rain long before tonight. The rain is not a problem to be solved, it is simply the condition of things. To live well in a rainy country is to stop fighting the rain, to stop resenting it, to let it become part of the background of being alive. You turn back to the fire. It has burned lower while you were watching the window. The flames are very small now, just occasional flickers across the cold surface of the coals, but the heat is still radiating out in strong, steady waves. You lean forward and place one small piece of wood on the coals, unhurried, with the ease of someone who has done this 1,000 times. You settle back into the chair. The new wood begins to catch almost immediately. First, just a thin wisp of smoke curling up, then the first tentative small flames at the edges, licking upwards along the grain of the wood, finding the dry inner layers. Within a minute, the fire is alive again, a little taller, a little brighter, throwing small shadows across the walls and ceiling of the cabin. The rain on the roof is a lullaby. You have been tired for a long time, you realize. Not just today, for longer than today. That particular deep tiredness that accumulates not just from sleepless nights, but from full days, from sustained effort, from being present and attentive and engaged in a world that asks a great deal of you. It is an honest tiredness. It is the tiredness of someone who has lived this day rather than merely endured it. And now, here you are. You are here. You can rest. The chair holds you. The fire warms you. The rain surrounds you all on all sides. A sound as old as the earth, as reliable as breathing, as gentle as anything you have ever known. Close your eyes. With your eyes closed, the sound it becomes everything. It is extraordinary how much there is to hear when you stop looking. The cabin is not silent, it is full of sound, but all of it is gentle. All of it is the sound of things at rest. The rain on the roof, the iron roof, has a slightly higher pitch than you might expect. Each drop a small brief note, like the softest possible tap on a metal drum. They overlap completely, so what you hear is not individual drops but a continuous texture, shifting and swelling with the varying intensity of the rain, cycling through phases of lighter and heavier without ever stopping. The rain on the wooden porch boards, lower in pitch, warmer, more resonant, less precise. The rain on the leaves of the shrubs just outside the window, a softer, more dispersed sound, almost like static, like the breath of something very large breathing slowly. The fire, occasional small crackle, the deep underlying breath of combustion, the structure of the cabin itself, small sounds of wood and stone responding to the temperature and moisture, a gentle creak from somewhere above, the almost imperceptible ticking of the stone fireplace as it absorbs and radiates heat, and underneath all of it, the sound of the stream. You had heard it before faintly, and now with your eyes closed and your attention free, you can hear it more clearly. It is maybe 50 yards away, running through a shallow gully at the edge of the forest. It has always been there, but the rain has deepened it, quickened it. It sounds is fuller and more urgent than usual. Not the delicate trickle of dry summer, but the full confident running of a stream that has been fed well and is moving with purpose. You listen to all of it at once, not analyzing it, not categorizing it, just receiving it, just being inside it. This is what it is to be held by sound, to stop treating silence as the goal and to discover instead that the right kind of sound is itself a form of rest. The rain does not demand anything of you, it asks nothing, it simply continues, as it would whether you were here or not, and you are simply fortunate enough to be inside it tonight, warm and still and at peace. Let your breath slow a little more, not forced, just allowed. The way breathing slows on its own when the body is finally safe, finally at rest. Notice the natural pause at the end of each exhale, that small moment of complete stillness before the next breath begins. Rest in that pause. The rain breathes with you in its cycle of heavier and lighter, in the way a gust of wind will push it against the roof in a brief intensification and then the wind passes and the rain subsides again. It has its own rhythm, its own breathing, not aligned with yours, not following yours, but parallel to it. Two rhythms in the same room, both slow, both steady, both entirely at ease. Your hands are very heavy now. Your arms are heavy. Your shoulders, which have been carrying the weight of the day and perhaps much more than just the day, have finally fully let go. They are just resting there, just arms, just shoulders, just the ordinary weight of a body at rest. Your face is soft, your jaw is not clenched, your forehead is smooth. The small muscles around your eyes are relaxed, so that your eyes behind their closed lids are not pressed together but simply resting. You are becoming the chair is becoming the floor is becoming the earth beneath the cabin. The earth beneath the cabin has been here for 10,000 years, will be here for 10,000 more, and is entirely unbothered. It is steady, it is immovable, and you are resting on it, and it is holding you, and you are safe. The fire has settled into its most reliable phase now, not high flames, just a slow, even burning of deep coals, an almost breath-like rhythm of combustion, the whole hearth a low and steady warmth. It will burn like this for hours without tending. It knows what it is doing. The light in the cabin has changed. The amber glow of the fire is primary now, warm on the walls, on the low ceiling, on the worn rug on the floor, on the side of your face that faces the hearth. The corners of the room are in soft shadow. The sleeping alcove, behind its half-drawn curtain, is dark and inviting. Outside, it is fully night. You can no longer see the clearing through the window, only the darkness and the movement of rain, still visible somehow even in the dark, lit faintly by the warm light leaking from the cabin. The glass is fully streaked with water now, the drops merging into continuous rivulets that run all the way to the windowsill. The sound of rain at night is different from the sound of rain in daylight. It is more present somehow, more complete. In the day, the sound competes with the business of seeing, of processing the visual world. At night, with that field removed, the sound expands into the space that was left. The rain at night is larger, more enveloping. It surrounds the cabin and surrounds your mind and surrounds everything you are. And it is entirely without threat, entirely without edge. Just rain, just night, just the fire, just you. You may have slept for a moment. It is difficult to tell. There was a looseness in your thoughts, a softening of the edges between one thought and the next, and then you are simply here again, warm and still and at rest, with no clear sense of how much time has passed. It doesn't matter, the rain is still falling, it will keep falling. It has no plans to stop before morning, and perhaps not even then. Rain like this settles in, makes itself at home, and stays. You pull the blanket, which is there now across your lap. It has always been there, a little higher, tucking it around your sides. The weight of it is comforting. The warmth of it is complete. Through the window, somewhere out in the dark and the rain, an owl calls, a single low note, then silence, then again, a single low note, patient, exploratory, then nothing for a long time. The owl is somewhere in the firs, perfectly dry in its hollow, perfectly comfortable in the dark and the rain. It is asking something of the night, or answering something, or simply announcing its continued presence. Then it is quiet. The stream sounds stronger than before. The rain has been falling for hours now, and the stream has responded fully. Its sound, a constant low roar beneath everything, a kind of bass note to the treble of the rain on the roof. You listen to the two sounds together, the high, varied, continuous rain, the deep, steady rushing stream, and between them the fire. Three sounds, all of them water, except the fire. Three kinds of patient energy. This is the hour when the world is most fully asleep. Not the early hours of night when some are still awake, still reading or talking or staring at screens. Not the early hours of morning when the first birds stir and the light begins its slow return. This is the center of the night, the deep interior of it, when the darkness has fully settled and the silence under the rain is complete. You are here in the middle of it, warm and still and breathing slowly. There's nothing required of you in this hour, nothing. The world has stopped asking. The phone is silent and far away. The demands of tomorrow are real, but they are tomorrow's, and tonight they have no purchase here. Tonight you are simply a warm body in a warm chair in a warm cabin in the middle of a dark, rain-soaked forest. And that is entirely of what you are, and it is enough. It is more than enough. Let your mind, if it offers thoughts, let them come without following them. Perhaps a thought arrives about something from earlier in the day, a conversation, a task, a face. Let it arrive. Acknowledge it The way you would acknowledge a knock at the door when you are already settled for the night. A slight turn of the head, a small recognition, and then let it pass. It can wait until morning. Everything can wait until morning. Perhaps a thought arrives about something ahead, something to plan, something to prepare for. The same, a gentle acknowledgement, and then a return to the rain. The rain is always here to return to. It asks nothing. It has no expectations. It is simply sound and warmth and rest. Your thoughts are like the water on the window glass. They arrive, they run for a moment along their particular paths, and then they reach the bottom and are absorbed and are gone. And the glass is smooth again, ready for the next drop. You don't need to follow any of them. You don't need to solve anything tonight. The fire has burned lower again. It is coals now, mostly deep and red and even, still warm, still throwing its amber light across the room, but softer now, more diffuse. The shadows in the corners have deepened. The candle on the mantelpiece has burned down to a small nub of wax and flame very small and very still in the air of the cabin, barely moving at all. You are very, very relaxed. Your breathing is slow and even and entirely unconscious. You no longer need to think about it. Your body knows how to breathe. It has always known how to breathe, long before you could think, long before you had any thoughts at all. Your body was breathing, was the breath, and tonight it is simply doing what it has always done, what it will always do, without any help from your conscious mind. Just breathing, just the rain, just the fire cooling slowly, spending itself entirely and without regret into the room. You become aware of the smell of the cabin again. It has been constant, always present, but you notice it now as a distinct thing. The deep, resinous smell of old timber that has lived with fires for years, that has absorbed wood smoke and become wood smoke, that smells of warmth stored in grain, the faint mineral smell of the stone hearth, the rain smell that comes in around the door and window, that impossibly clean smell of water on earth, present even inside, threading through the cabin like a cold current in a warm river. You breathe it in slowly. This is a smell from before memory. Humans have sheltered from rain in swarm structures besides fire for the entirety of recorded time, and for all the time before recording. This arrangement, rain outside, fire inside, warm and still and safe, is not new. It is not even yours in any individual sense. It is one of the oldest experiences available to a person, and tonight it is available to you, and you are in it. And there is a deep cellular ease in this that goes far below thought, far below the individual, into something older and more permanent. You are safe. The rain falls. The fire breathes. In the deep night, sounds carry differently. The owl calls again, twice, close together, and then nothing. Perhaps it has caught something, settled somewhere, folded its wings. Perhaps it's simply quiet for reasons of its own. The stream continues. If anything, it sounds closer now, or perhaps you have simply learned to hear it better. It is a full, rounded sound, not harsh, not aggressive, but substantial, a sound of genuine movement, of water that has somewhere to be going and is going there without hesitation. The rain has reached a kind of steady state. It is not dramatic rain of storms, not the kind that makes you anxious, that drives sideways, that pounds and hammers. It is a settled working rain, the kind that goes about its business without calling attention to itself, without performance. It is simply falling, as it has been falling, as it will continue to fall, and it is very easy to stop noticing it as anything separate from the silence, to let it become the ground on which everything rests. That is what the rain is tonight, not something happening, not weather, just the ground, just the foundation of sound on which everything else is arranged. Your mind has gone somewhere very quiet now, not empty. It is not quite sleep, not yet, though sleep is very close, is breathing in the same room as you, is just behind the curtain of the sleeping alcove, waiting patiently. Your mind is quiet the way a forest is quiet, and there's still life in it, still movements and small sounds, but the overall quality is one of rest, of cessation, of having laid down whatever it was carrying and having no immediate intention of picking it back up. You may find that image come, unbidden and gentle, not thoughts exactly, more like the first images of a dream. If a dream were soft and slow and warm, a path through trees, a light on water, the curve of a hillside under a cloud, these are not visions, not messages, not meaningful in any particular way. They are simply the mind's way of resting, of transitioning from the waking world to the sleeping one. You can follow them if you like. They will take you somewhere gentle. Or simply stay here in the chair with the rain. Either way is right. Either way leads to the same place. The candle on the mantelpiece goes out. You don't see it happen. Your eyes are closed, or nearly closed, but you notice the slight shift in the quality of the light on the inside of your eyelids. A little darker, a little redder. Just the fire now, and it is very low. The room is warm enough. It will stay warm until morning. You breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out. The rain is all around the cabin now. You can feel it almost as much as hear it. A kind of gentle pressure on all sides, as though the rain were holding the cabin, as though the rain were the arms of something enormous and gentle, and the cabin were nestled within it, and you were nestled within the cabin, layer after layer of shelter, warm at the center of everything. This is the place between waking and sleep. You know this place. You have been here before, on the best nights, on the nights when the body is tired and the mind has finally agreed to let go. It is not frightening here. It is not even strange. It is simply the crossing place, the threshold, the doorway between one kind of consciousness and another. On one side of the threshold, awareness, the ability to hear the rain and know that it is rain, the ability to feel the chair and know that you are sitting, the ability to notice the warmth, and know that it comes from fire. The ability to read thoughts and know that they are thoughts. On the other side, something softer, a place where the categories blur, where rain and thought and warmth and self all become part of the same continuous thing, and where that thing is simply experience, simply being, without any effort of naming or placing or understanding. Sleep is not unconsciousness. Sleep is another kind of consciousness, one that your body and mind need more than almost anything else, one that heals things quietly in the dark without any effort required from you. You are nearly there. The rain slows slightly, or perhaps you're simply hearing less of it now. Your attention is softer, your hearing is softer. The sounds that were sharp and detailed a while ago have become more like a general atmosphere, a surrounding warmth of sound, as undifferentiated as breath. The fire has reached its final stage. The coals are dark at the edges, deep red and orange at the center, spending themselves slowly into warmth and ash. There is no flame left, just a glow, patient and steady, a banked heat that will hold through the night and still be warm come morning. Your breathing is very slow. Your body is heavy and warm and entirely at rest. The sleeping alcove is waiting. Perhaps you move toward it now, or perhaps the story moves toward it for you. The warm weight of the blanket lifts with you, travels with you. The boards of the floor are silent underfoot, and you are not walking at all. You're simply there now, in the low ceiling space with the thick wool blankets and the deep soft pillows. You lie down. The mattress receives you. The blankets cover you. The pillow is cool on one side, and you turn it to the cool side and lay your face against it and breathe out a long, slow breath. The rain on the roof is very close now, closer here than anywhere else in the cabin. The roof is low above the sleeping alcove, and the rain is falling directly on it, and the sound is gentle and immediate and surrounds you completely. There's nothing between you and the rain but the roof, and the roof is enough. You are safe, you are warm, you are held. The rain falls, the cabin holds, the fire sleeps. You breathe in slowly, out slowly. The rain on the roof, close, steady, patient, an unbroken sound. A sound without beginning that has no particular ending. A sound that was there before you arrived and will be there long after you have drifted fully away. And that steadiness is the most comforting thing imaginable. It does not need your attention to continue. It does not require anything from you. It simply falls as the earth turns, as the water moves from sea to cloud to rain to stream to sea, in the oldest and most reliable of all the planet's rhythms. You are part of that rhythm tonight. You are water too. You are mostly water. And tonight the water in you is still, is resting, is gathering itself for morning. But morning is very far away. Right now, there is only the rain and the dark and the warm bed and the slow tide of your breath going out, carrying you out. Let the sound of the rain hold you. It is not a voice, but it speaks to something in you. not in words, but in the way that certain sounds do. The sound of the sea heard through a window, the sound of wind in grass, the sound of a river at night. These sounds reach past language, past thought, into something older and quieter in the body, and they say something that cannot be translated, that can only be received. What they say is something like rest. What they say is something like safe. What they say is something like this is enough. The stream outside has settled into its night voice, fuller than usual, richer than the constant rain feeding it steadily, but steady itself now, not the variable rushing of a stream responding to a sudden rainfall, but the deep, even running of a stream that has found its night pace and is content to keep it until morning. There are two sounds above everything now, the rain on the roof, the stream in its gully. They are not quite in rhythm with each other. The cycles overlap and diverge and overlap again, but together they create something that is more than either alone, a layered sound, a sound with depth. You do not need to listen to it. You are inside it. It is inside you. Your breathing is another layer, the slowest one, the quietest one, and all three things are simply the same thing happening at different scales. Water falling, water moving, breath moving, and there's no separation between them. Not really, not tonight. Let the thoughts dissolve. Whatever remains of the day, let it dissolve. Whatever concerns itself with tomorrow, let it dissolve. Whatever the mind still holds from habit, from long practice, from the belief that vigilance is required even here, even now, let it dissolve. There's nothing to guard against tonight. There's nothing that needs watching. The cabin is sound. The roof is sound. The rain is doing what rain does, and it will not come inside. The rain, the fire, has spent itself, cooled, and the room is warm and will stay warm. The door is closed. The world outside is dark and wet and entirely at peace in its rain-soaked night, and everything in its sheltering and resting and still. You can let go now, completely. Let the body go. The feet, heavy and warm, let them go. They have carried you all day and now they are done. Let them be just weight, just warmth, just rest. The legs, let them go. Just weight, just warmth. The hips, the lower back, let them sink deeper into the mattress. Let the mattress take the weight, all the weight, every last bit of it. The belly, rising and falling with each breath, slowly, slowly, let it go soft. The chest, let it be easy, not held, not braced, just open, just breathing. The shoulders, already down, already low, but lower now, softer, back into the mattress. Let them be held. The arms, heavy as wood, the hands, open and loose, their work done. The throat, soft, the jaw, unclenched, the teeth, slightly apart, the face, entirely slack, entirely smooth, the eyes, still, resting in their sockets, nothing to see, nothing to search for, the forehead, smooth as still water, the mind, empty as the dark. You are very nearly asleep. The rain is still falling. It will be falling whether when you cross the last threshold, and it will be falling as you sleep, hour after hour through the night, steady and patient and entirely reliable. You can give yourself completely. It will not stop when you stop listening. It will simply continue for you, without you, around you, and when you wake, it may still be falling, and there will be a moment in that waking when you hear it again before you know anything else, and that first sound will be a gift, a continuation, a world that kept going while you rested and was glad to have you back. But that is morning, and morning is a long way. Now is just this: the rain, the dark, the warm, the breath. There is a place just before sleep where the sounds of the world become something else. The rain on the roof becomes a pattern that the dreaming mind begins to shape. Not yet a dream, but the possibility of a dream, the raw material of one. The sound of a stream becoming a path. The warmth becomes a color. The dark becomes a depth you are sinking into willingly, pleasantly, without resistance. This is not falling. This is a settling. The deepest kind of settling. The kind that happens when a body that has worked hard finally, truly, completely lets go of its work and hands itself over to the night. You are doing that now. Breathe in slowly and breathe out all the way out slowly, the breath going on longer than you expect, until you are truly empty, until the lungs has given everything and there's a moment of complete stillness. And then the next breath arrives on its own, as it always does, as it always will, without any effort from you. Just breathing, just the rain, just the dark, just the warmth of the bed and the distant warmth of the coals and the warmth of your own body, gathered and still and resting. The rain tonight is for you. It has fallen on many cabins and many nights and many people who needed rest more than anything, and it has always done what it does, which is simply to fall, simply to be there, simply to create that continuous, patient, endless sound that the body understands as safe and the mind understands as rest. It is yours tonight, all of it. The roof sound, the window sound, the stream sound, the earth sound. It is all yours, and you are inside it, and it is inside you. And the difference between you and the night no longer seem particularly important. Let the last thought go, whatever it is, and perhaps it is nothing. Perhaps the thoughts have all dissolved already. Let it go, like the last light from a fire, like the last drop of rain before dawn, like the last breath before sleep. Let it go. There's nothing left now but the rain and the dark and your slow and easy breathing. And these three things are enough for the whole world. And you are held within them, and you are safe, and you are resting, and you are home. The rain falls, the cabin holds, you sleep.